Oh, she missed it.
Can't hear. Okay.
You can make it.
I am, yeah. And we're live.
Are we really?
It is. We are.
Live, I feel right now.
Well, we seem to be coming out of the funk that our store was in for the past week. So,
Woman, why did you bring that up?
no, I didn't. I didn't say the Q word or that we have truly bounced back. We're just kind of coming out of the funk. So, if you are new here, we are Hope and Michael.
At least we think we are.
Yeah, we know we are. And we make up lean ed. We are full-time eBay resellers. And we have been learning a lot about eBay over the past year and a half. We have made a ton of mistakes.
Still making them.
And yeah, and we're still learning a lot. So we're here to share what we're learning as we learn it, so that you don't have to make all the mistakes that we do.
Just some of them.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Yeah. So what's on your mind as we come into this hour?
Returns.
No, not returns.
Yep. I don't know about everybody else. It just seems to me that I think I brought this up last week, where you've got an increased amount of returns, and not just returns, but returns people claiming not as described. Now, I'm completely fine with people doing a normal return. Mm-hmm. You can do it for whatever reason. You don't have to tell me. Just say,
I don't like it.
Whatever.
Change my mind.
I don't need an excuse.
I like that one.
But we got a bunch of people making up stuff. And we had a pair of chinos, and they were gray. Can't remember the brand right now, but
I want to say they were Dockers.
Dockers or Lee, one of the two.
Uh-huh.
And, they're not brand new.
No.
So
Hence being labeled pre-owned.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I don't like is the fact that this is probably one of our older listings, and so I was just looking at pictures because I had to go through this deal and change it from whether or not it was going to be fair, good, or excellent, or whatever. And you're looking at the pictures; they look excellent. I mean,
Yeah.
comparatively speaking, excellent is
Compared to some of the stuff that we were buying initially.
I mean, part of me says
very
I
beginning.
should just never mark anything excellent, because, in my opinion,
Nothing is a 10.
I used to grade papers for a professor, and no one ever got 100 because I didn't think anything was ever perfect.
No.
So maybe I should never mark anything excellent. But
Yeah.
anyway, these were in really good shape for being a used pair of chinos.
Mm-hmm.
And guy got them, proceeded to take these like microscopic photo. Who knows where he was
I don't
at.
know where his photos were, what they were aimed on, but they definitely were not very clear photos to begin with.
And said, I can't have this for my pair of dress pants.
Dress
Number
pants.
one, they're not dress pants.
No, they were not dress pants.
So there's that. But number two, I mean, you can zoom in on anything and wrinkle it up and have lighting and make it look whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So this was one of those cases where eBay gave me the option of contacting the seller and see what you can do kind of deal, which is, I think, only the second time that's ever happened to me. But so, I reached out and said, hey, could you step back a little bit from the pants and take an additional photo and point to the area that you're talking about? Because I
don't know what you're talking about.
don't know what you're talking about. No reply whatsoever. And then later on, I said, hey, did you get my message? And yeah, I hadn't had time. I'm like, okay. I said, well, you claimed that they arrived damaged. So did you take a picture of the package? Was there something? There wasn't nothing wrong with the package. I just can't have that. I'm like, can't have what? Anyway, the way eBay works, you basically have to agree to the return. If you don't do it, they're going to do it. So either way, you agree to the return, then you debate it after the fact. So I was like, okay, fine, let's just do that. And seems like I had just gotten through doing that when I got a notification for another return. And this was for the jacket that's hanging behind us. It was a North Face puffer jacket. It's not in immaculate condition. It's really good, condition. One of the things was the zipper pull. The zipper still works great, but the pull is missing.
And it's a North Face, like a, what's the word? Proprietary.
There you go. Show off.
Proprietary zipper mechanism. And so you can't just buy a additional, replacement pull like you could put on a lot of other jackets.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
We may or may not come up with a solution to that because, we're going into things that are, more trouble than they're worth. But it had, because it was worn like an under layer or something, there was a spot, one or two little spots, and we pointed those out.
They're not holes. They're just little
Dark spots.
something like a little spot of glue or something. Something got on there.
I mean, still works great. Still is a no holes, a puffer jacket. For the purpose of being worn.
Warm, yeah. And layering.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to go to a fashion show, different story. But anyway, got it, kept it for a little while, and then messaged and said that it was defective. I think that was what the term they used. And said something about a different area on the front of one of the sleeves and claimed there was this big oil stain on it. And I was like, once again, it was another one of these close-up pictures. Like, what are they talking about? And I remember the spots that were on the back of a sleeve. So I went through all my photos, and I'm, once again trying to, but you know what? Guess what? eBay didn't give me an option this time.
They just refunded them.
They just refunded them, and it was on its way back. So we have gotten both of them back now. This one was first, and we looked at everything. We're like, I don't know what in the world this person was making a big deal about. And we also said, hey, we pointed these things out, and we said it was not, in perfect condition. But anyway, all you can do is hit the refund button, and then you can
attempt.
To say, hey, I got a problem with this. I don't agree with the reason why this person sent it back. And you got to give your info. Oh, I know what the other thing was. They said the size. Well, I pulled up a North Face size chart, which is how we sized it. And so it is the right size. So I just included that
picture. And it is
picture.
a men's.
Yeah.
I think he tried to say it was a women's.
Yeah, he tried to say, oh, it's way too small for being a men's. And so,
Nope, you might be a bigger body than you think.
I say this all the time, and I don't ever do it. So I need to practice what I preach. But I should have included the size chart in the pictures.
That'd be a good idea.
So next time, if we don't have a tag in there, I definitely need to do that before hitting the list button. But anyway, I got two now that I've argued that, hey, these are not as described. The person just didn't want to pay shipping to send them back. Realized how expensive shipping is. And so they played the game, and I think we're the one that loses on this deal. And I'm not going to, I have gotten to the point now where I'm not necessarily going to cry about the return shipping cost. Now, what I'm not happy about is the number of not as described we're going to get, and eBay could look at us and go, we're going to knock you down,
right,
ranking-wise. So.
Yep, it's just part of playing in somebody else's sandbox. So we have to deal with, learning to play by their rules, and it may mean that we need to make different decisions in the future. I don't know.
Well, we're way below the average person in our category as far as not as described currently. But I'm thinking those have not hit the the report yet, and so we will see what happens with that and let you know. But hopefully, it'll just stay below average, and we can still be where we are. But
Yeah. Maybe the one that is there will drop off, and if we have to, and I don't understand if there are swamp pickers back with us. Welcome back.
hey, Swamp.
If I totally forgot my question. Sweet swamp pickers, threw me off. Let's see. What was I saying? Oh, item not as described. Does that include multiple different categories? Because there are different reasons that people can, like one person that returned an item and said it arrived damaged. Well, is that considered item not as described because the damage was not in the description? Or do they have to specifically say item not as described?
We'll see, because I've gone into the store and looked at our service metrics and looked at the pie graph and all that kind of stuff. And it does break them up into different categories, but it doesn't tell me exactly, like if you get one from this, one from this, and one from this, it counts.
Yeah, what's a red flag?
Whether it counts against you or not.
Yeah. So, is there another one? Or that was both of them?
It was both of them.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
Nothing.
Hopefully nothing.
Well, not hopefully nothing.
I'm talking about on changing our
damage wise.
Our ranking, but anyway. So if you were here last week and saw the live, so somebody skipped out on us, played hooky, and
last week my voice sounded way worse than it sounds today. Today I'm still a little stuffy, raspy, but last week I could not talk without coughing, so I had to sit off in the corner and watch the chat a little bit and just listen. So I couldn't interrupt him.
Well, if you did watch it or you watched it later, you might have said, "What in the world are those two irons sitting up in front of the microphone?" Guess what? I was going to talk about them.
Yeah, but instead, I'm going to have a little show and tell.
Yeah.
So, if you are a clothing reseller, then you probably use your iron a lot. So I'm going to have a little out with the old and in with the new because. Was it last Thursday?
Well, here's the funny part.
No. It must have been Wednesday.
When we first started the store,
yes,
our iron died.
Like 30 days in, something like that.
If
like
that long.
It just like died.
And you
just
had to,
plugged
you
up
had to
and
run
nothing happened.
Go pick up.
I had to go buy this one, which is what is this one? This one is a Black & Decker Even Steam. And it's not an expensive iron. I know it was less than $30, and I did just pick it up at Walmart. And honestly, I can't fault any iron probably unless I spend a ton of money on it for cutting out on us, because I literally use it every single day for probably an hour a day. So last Wednesday or so, it just, I can plug it up and the light comes on, but it won't heat up anymore. So I had to run get a new iron. And so...
we should sell that on eBay for parts.
I thought about it. That's why I haven't thrown it away yet. It's like, part it out. So I picked up this one, which is a Hamilton Beach. Cute little iron, only $20. But it has a retractable cord in it, which I am totally jazzed about because my iron stays out on my counter 24/7. It never gets put away. The ironing board gets put away, but the iron never does. So I'm glad to have that. I don't have to wrap the cord around it. It'll retract itself. And so I'm very pleased with that purchase. Again, that was just a Walmart one. And if anybody's interested, I can put a link to it. We're not Walmart affiliates or anything, but if anybody is interested in one that's inexpensive with a retractable cord, then I'll share that But I do
I
have
don't know that anybody that watches us is like
clothing reseller.
as a guru in this or whatever. But if you have a better iron suggestion,
Yes.
let us know, because we only buy irons when we're in a panic. Mm-hmm. We don't
Well,
ever have the
It would be
opportunity.
nice to have a nice iron and then just have this one be a backup. But, you know,
right now.
right now, I don't know about anybody else, but I dare one other thing that I'm really super jazzed about. A purchase that we made over the past week. Well, I made it a couple of weeks ago. They just finally arrived last week. But the bags that we store our shirts and pants have looked like this. And they're really, really floppy. They're really thin, and we have to tape them on the backside, which I didn't mind. But when you go to store them, they slide down a lot. So we had,
We did get a lot of people, though, even with just those,
that make comments
that
that are,
said, "Oh, they're professionally put away," or whatever. We're like,
we're
wow.
not professionals.
But when we bought those, we bought like $1 million. So,
Yes, and they were the least expensive. And we started to look at, because we'd seen some other resellers on eBay, on YouTube, that had really nice bags that had like the, what do you call it, the warning, the suffocation warning that's on the back, that's like, keep this bag away from babies and whatever. That sealed, that were like self-sealing, but they were so expensive, like 3 times the price that we were paying for the others. It may have been even more expensive than that. So I just gave up, but I did run out of those cheap bags that we had and went looking for some new ones, and I found these for just a little bit more than what I was spending. I mean, like a tiny bit more. That has it's self-sealing, and I thought that it was like a
Ziploc.
one-time seal. Like that once I sealed it over, I would not be able to open it back up and close it back. But I was wrong, because since we've bought these bags, I have had to, I have had to open some up, take an item out, and then put it back in there. And it does better than the tape does. So I'm really, really pleased with these. And it's not as floppy as this bag. So when we put ours in, we store them in bins, in plastic bins. It handles standing up much better than the old bags did. So
Yeah, and if we ever get to the point where we shift over to the boxes and standing up, that way they'll do better.
they'll go in a lot better. And honestly, I cannot remember. I may have gotten these on Amazon. I will look it up and I will put them in the description, because we searched for months to find something, and they were just too expensive until I found these. And it was really an accidental thing. So I am super pleased about them. I can't remember the name of the company, but again, I will put that in the description below, because they're super helpful. I'm very, very, very happy
Well,
with that
one of the
purchase.
things to make you aware of is that on the cheaper bags, they were thinner mill. And so there is a law when it comes to sending stuff to California. We send a lot of stuff to California.
Well, it's not just California. I think there
Well,
are some other states too.
Some other states, but we send a lot of stuff to California. So I double checked this. But with the really thin, flimsy mill,
Like dry cleaner bags.
then it does not, you don't have to have the warning on there, because I guess in their mindset that,
can poke it
somebody can poke a hole through it or whatever. But with the new ones, they are thicker. They're not super thick, but they're thicker, and
Yeah.
they have to have it on there.
Okay.
So if we were to, send something, if we're sending it to, Georgia, I don't think it makes any difference. But if we're sending stuff to California or a few other places, you better have that warning on there because it's not because of the mil difference, and I can't remember the number, but it's a big deal. So keep that in mind when you're,
Okay, back to the iron conversation. P&W part-time picker says, don't a lot of clothing resellers use steamers? Yes, they do. I think it depends on the items that you are selling. I contemplated buying one because we do some blazers, but I found that by using a standard iron and using the steam feature, I can hit the steam button, and with the jacket hanging up, I can basically get the same effect. But I think if I were doing more women's clothes that were finer, softer materials, that I would probably find a steamer would be better for that, because a lot of those fabrics you don't want to iron. But the majority of what we do is men's, like button-up shirts, chinos and things like that, which
jeans
really do fine with an iron. A lot of them I will turn inside out to press, but an iron seems to work well for us. So depends on what you use.
I mean, we borrowed a steam steamer, whatever, from our daughter, and we didn't use it.
I used it a couple of times. It just didn't seem to be very effective on heavier, like blazer material.
Now, when we do blazers, we get some stuff called. Anyway, she'll put it in the description.
Dry L.
Dry L.
Yeah, comes in a kit, and so rather than taking them to the cleaners and having them dry cleaned, we do a dry clean cycle in our dryer
with the Dry L. And if you take those out and hang them up pretty quickly,
most fabrics will release.
They're pretty good shape, and still then she can just touch them up with that kind of deal. One of the things I would caution you about when it comes to the steamer is oh my
part-time pickers that I'm lazy and just photograph wrinkled things. I need to do better.
You do.
You do.
Because I see your listing and it's terrible.
No. You don't just throw it on the floor, right?
Yeah, or the bed.
Yeah.
We have heard people. I was worried about this, and because of the way Hope does it, it will
catch you later, swamp picker.
It's a little less of a problem, but be careful if you're steaming stuff and then putting it straight in a bag, because the moisture has not really escaped, and it'll turn into a moldy mess.
I don't think we've run into this, although we did have a shirt returned.
We did have a shirt returned, and I am suspicious of the fact that we bagged it too quick, and because I think it was in mint condition when we ironed it and bagged it or steamed it, whatever we did. And then we put it, in the bag, and we put it in the container. And when we were doing shipping, we just were in a hurry and
just pulled it out. We
shipped it to them.
Yeah.
And the guy was furious when he got it because it was a white Oxford immaculate when we first did it, and
it was very disappointed and very disappointing for us because it was a good shirt. And,
I think it showed,
but it looked bad.
It looked bad, and then when you sent it back, it still felt moist, and so I was like, "Why in the world is it moist?"
Yeah.
So that's been my major concern about, but the way that Hope does it is that she normally irons things and then she just kind of hangs them up like on a doorway or something like that. And she doesn't immediately take the photos.
Right.
Part of that was because one of the previous irons we had leaked a lot. And so there was always like one wet spot that needed to dry, before we could actually do the photos of it. But, you just want to be careful. Whatever you do, however you do it, you want to make sure that the item is dry.
Yeah.
And so these bags, they seal. They seal more than the other ones did, and so we're going to have to make sure that they're dry.
They're not, still not 100%.
And we don't want them to be 100%.
Yeah.
Because that's going to trap the moisture.
Love these.
but just be careful. If you're steaming everything, that if you're bagging them,
All the moisture is out.
that you're careful that they're dry, because you'll end up with a mess like we had, and ended up a strike against us.
Yeah.
And
If that was what caused it, we're just not absolutely positive.
so
So there's my show and tell for the week. And the other thing that I wanted to share is that, and you kind of hit on this just a second ago, I have been, or we both have been really, like we've been
did, it
trying
was
to
an
find our
accident.
groove, huh?
if I did, it was an accident.
We have been trying to find a groove, like a rhythm for what is going to be the ideal number of listings and the way to get those accomplished. What day, like just really working out a rhythm for our week and our weekdays. And finding that sweet spot of enough listings to make eBay see as us being really active, and also not killing ourselves, but not continuing to way outpace the number of listings versus sales. Because we don't want our store, we don't want it to go above 3,000. We really would like to keep it around
Yeah,
2,000.
we're almost there.
We're getting dangerously close. So we need more sales, and we need to not keep listing too many items. So we've kind of just pulled back a tiny bit, and so we're doing 8 new listings per day. So I am preparing 10 items per day so that we bank a little bit, which will allow us to hopefully at the end of the week have Saturday and Sunday taken care of. Ideally, we would love to have our Sundays done and scheduled so that we can take a complete Sabbath. We haven't been there
Nope.
for the past few weeks, but we have been taking a Sabbath. And it really makes a huge difference, because I think, for me especially, coming back on Monday morning and just being refreshed on Sunday and resting and not really thinking about the store too much, I'm ready. I'm ready for a new week. And I feel like I have had an opportunity to recover. And it's also allowed us to really start having some time to work on some things that we feel like God's calling us to do. And so one of those is, for me, a second channel that is not focused on eBay, but just focused on sharing skills that I wish that 25-year-old me had access to. I wish I had a grandma when I was 25 who was close to me and that I could ask questions of. And a lot of those questions are in the kitchen. My mom was not a big cook. We grew up in the age of convenience foods, and so I had to fumble my way through the kitchen and learn how to cook, and learn how to cook from scratch, because we spent some time living overseas. And
It was a much bigger deal. There.
yeah, it was a big deal. There weren't ranch packets and taco dinners in a box available to us then. So I had to Google recipes and learn how to read that foreign language there. So that's something that I have had an opportunity to be working on. I haven't launched it yet. I'm still working on getting my ducks in a row, but I'm getting very close, because we have been getting the rhythm of our eBay store figured out. So we would love to be able to see eBay not be our every waking thought. So,
Yeah, I mean, but it's a balancing act, because it depends on your needs. But for us, there's
we didn't have a choice for the past year.
Yeah, well, we didn't really have a choice, and we still need sales to increase. But they're to avoid burnout. There's a max number where you're like, God, I hate doing this now. And so, if you can stay underneath that number where you're like, oh I'm done already, cool. And be consistent with that number. So whatever you got to do, if there's some days that you can be more active than others, you need to, divide that out throughout the week. And then for us, where we were struggling is that we had a grandchild birthday party. We had a death in the family. We had just a bunch of things that hit us that were not part of our regularly scheduled program. And
Life.
If you're not ready for those, then you're going to pay the price to get caught back up. And so you want to be in a situation where you can easily do what you're doing on a daily basis, and that covers you for times like, hey, let's go.
We're going to babysit the
Yeah.
grandchild.
Yeah, this Saturday night. So y'all pray for us. Actually, no, it's not hard for me at all.
Especially when he's so cute.
One of us is not going to let go anyway. But there's like I said, depending on your needs. But what I've learned in other businesses, construction, whatever else, is if you take on more than your body can handle, in this case, it's more of my mind and a little less of my physical
No,
body.
it's both.
Well, the physical, is
Just different.
It's just because of my age, but the mental, well, is because of my age too. But I can only do so many things till my brain's just hurting, and when it gets to the point where this is a drudge and I'm, if I'm not careful, I'm gonna get sick and tired of it, then that's gonna be a problem. So we're better off to back off a little bit. It reduces how much we have to source, but we're kind of maxing out. We said we weren't going to get any bigger than a one-car garage, and we're getting there. And so, we don't need to go much higher because we're not young enough to get way up on the ladder.
Our bins can't go higher. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
the bins can go higher. I mean, they can go higher, but we can't go higher.
We can't get up. I can't carry a bin up. I'd have to go up a ladder to get one more
and
level.
that's at some point. I have some solutions for that problem, but right now we're just trying to work out the flow. We're adjusting the flow. So, one of the things that we've been playing around with is a help, not a virtual assistant, because I can't see the value in that in doing this, because I'm going to have to, check all their work and all this kind of stuff. That's just not me. And if I had somebody that was in the family that was interested in this and wanted to work with us, that'd be a different story, or a friend or something like that. But so we're experimenting a little bit with some AI listing scenarios, and we'll tell you more about that. We so far it's been somewhat of a positive, but a learning curve, and so it's changed our routine a lot, and that's been the problem for the last month or so.
And I think that has been, for me, it has helped me. I definitely had to learn how to do the photos a little differently, be more specific about certain things, note certain things on the packaging, because I'm not the one who's doing the listing.
But then she takes pictures. She's done.
Yeah. So once I get 10 items pressed and ready and photographed and bagged and everything, I can be done. So that does allow me to work on other things. Or like yesterday, I actually took a nap.
Yeah.
It was a rainy afternoon and it was 4 o'clock, a little bit too early to start dinner. And I was like, I'm not even going to apologize for this. I'm going to go take advantage of a rainstorm outside and take a nap.
So. Which is, going going to be more of an issue for us going further. The older we
Yeah.
get, we're going to need those naps.
I'm not normally a big napper because I don't sleep well at night
my
if I nap.
Get her in the car.
Oh, yeah. But I think that is from years long, long, long ago when I had issues with car sickness. So I think the spillover from that is like every time I get still, if I get really still, I can fall asleep
In the car.
in the car. Yeah, very easily.
I've learned the signs. Gets quiet real quick. I'm like, yep. Just look over. She's
Yep.
probably asleep.
So what you got? Continuing
so-
that conversation now?
Yeah. So along those lines, part of the whole deal of the journey that we've been on is because of health and age and having to pivot and not do what I used to do. And so one of the things that, and I failed to write down their username or whatever.
It was Uncle. Wait a minute. Let me see.
Last week, a gentleman brought up the fact that he was door-dashing. He had a full-time job and he was door-dashing.
The Uncle Ray.
The Uncle Ray. And so he was, he's been going back and forth with, should he get involved with eBay? And so I was like, how about we do eBay versus DoorDash? Now, I didn't necessarily consider DoorDash. I considered doing, it's like a medical delivery service. I looked into DoorDash and there was a couple other ones I looked into.
We're in a more rural area, though, so
So it's not really, in fact, somebody local has started their own little thing.
their own delivery service.
Yeah, because DoorDash is not really a thing out here.
Yeah.
But the medical delivery service deal, I really looked into, considered
That
it.
did sound interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a deal where, once you get approved and get set up, you go by to these little lock boxes and pick stuff up, and then you take it to somewhere else and you hand it off, and you delivered it. And so, I considered it. One of our deals was we at the time didn't have a great vehicle, and I got a lot of other vehicles that are not great in the garage. Driveway if anybody's looking for one as a project, but. We didn't have a great vehicle, and at the time, driving all day long, just
Didn't sound like fun.
no. I was afraid then because because my health was really bad then that it would be miserable, and you've got to be a lot more on their schedule, and so when you get hooked up with these, you're kind of at their mercy. So. But for the Uncle
Ray.
He specifically, I think, said he does DoorDash
He has a full-time job and he does DoorDash.
on the side. So he's
So-
like for a
So
side.
like us, he's looking for a side business to eventually replace his full-time job.
we
I believe.
assume, but
Yeah.
at least for now, he would
I
like
think that
to
was-
like to kind of get away from DoorDash and wants to consider something else. So I don't really know, what his needs are, and we can talk about the fact that if you're into DoorDash right now, you might be making some regular income, and then if you're going to start a store from scratch, it's going to take a little bit for it to ramp up. But so I did a real quick, just kind of a little reselling on eBay versus DoorDash. And we've talked over and over again about what I consider the positive and negatives about eBay. But in looking at the positives for DoorDash, one of them is high flexibility. So from my research and considering it before I started going down the medical delivery route, I got the impression, and I met a lady who I was doing some renovation on her house, and she was door dashing, and she could turn it on and off, and so she was able to turn it off and meet me at her house, and talk about a bunch of stuff, and then when she felt like she wasn't needed anymore, she'd turn it back on and she'd take off and go do some more door dashing, and then she would come back, and so
That's kind of cool because you could work it around a schedule if you have other appointments or
Yeah, I think
or even
she
another
was also
side
picking
job.
up kids, taking them to school.
Yeah.
So that was part of the turning on and off. I do think though that that's not necessarily a positive if you keep turning it on and off. I don't know. So that was going to be a question for Uncle Ray. But anyway, that was a deal where it's not a terrible thing for retirees. I mean, I think mostly DoorDash is food. So it's not like it's anything heavy. It'd be kind of tough to drive around with somebody's Big Mac in the car and smelling it. But I probably,
People who trust DoorDash drivers.
hey, don't be busting on Uncle Rick.
No, I just personally, I don't want somebody else handling my food.
Yeah,
I
but
struggle enough with drive-thrus.
yeah, our son does it all the time. So
Yeah, he does.
So my understanding, quick entry and payouts. I don't know for sure. I mean, we currently have our eBay store set up where we get some kind of daily, provided there's something to put in there.
Sometimes it's not daily.
Sometimes it's like $1, which is kind of ridiculous. They should have a minimum. But anyway,
Yeah, like don't waste it if it's under $10 or
my understanding is if you're door dashing, you got the potential for tips. But I watch a lot of videos where people getting robbed, not getting tips, and not only that, claiming they never got their food, and so someone gets burned and has to eat the deal because they can't prove that they
delivered
it. So I don't know. So there is a perk in fact of being active. So keeps you moving. Some social engagement. So I'm not a small person, so getting in and out of a fuel efficient car, I would not enjoy personally. It's a little harder for me. It's not, Hope and I are not, we don't have the seat in the same location or,
No.
or anything, at the same. But for me, getting in and out of even the one vehicle we're riding in right now is a little tough. But supposedly low initial investment with just mainly your car, but you also got to have a decent smartphone. So can't be using a
Yeah, but I mean, I guess there are dumb phones now. People talk about dumb phones, but it just seems like everything is a smartphone now.
There's still people using burners.
Okay, well,
Anyway, you would think you would have one, but you've got to have a smartphone, and you've got to have a decent vehicle. And if doesn't get good gas mileage or or unreliable, that's probably not something you should consider.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why we said this is probably not a good idea. So negatives, going back to the physical demands, driving fatigue, that was going to be my big deal. At least when I was managing a bunch of construction sites, I would drive from one site to another and I would get out and I'd walk around and talk to people and then get back in. So usually my longest drives were going from here into town, and then my route was mostly 5 to 10 minutes between jobs. But it was painful coming home. And I didn't enjoy the ride in the morning, but the coming home part was, long. And
just because you were already fatigued?
Because I was just tired. So, driving fatigue, if that's all you do is just drive. Then vehicle expenses, the wear and tear on the vehicle, gas,
A lot of miles on it.
maintenance, all that cuts into the profits. And I don't think a lot of people think about the wear and tear in their vehicle when they do this. So hopefully you're putting money back for new tires, new brakes, worn out transmission from shifting gears and all that kind of stuff. Oh, people don't shift gears anymore, do they?
They don't.
My word. Then, I don't know how consistent the income is, and, what kind of tips you get and, that kind of stuff. Tax burden, there's still a 1099 scenario, so you got to keep that in mind. And it is not passive.
No.
It's fully active.
Fully active, and it's not like you can like get ahead. Like with eBay, you can schedule ahead. You can do listings for the weekend. You can do them during the week and get ahead, and then be able to be off.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And I think that a lot of people may end up being in a situation where you might go make a delivery and then you have to go find a place to go pull over and sit and wait for the next
I think that is pretty
ding.
common.
And then, then you got to drive. Because I actually, the other one I looked into a lot was the Walmart one. Because we do have a Walmart and it does have the delivery service in
Oh,
it.
I didn't
So
realize that.
that's what the whole left side of the building got added on for that purpose. And I really considered that one. But what I did see was that the videos of people that I watched that did do that, they might be, we only have one Walmart. So that would not be a problem for us. But some people that live in a bigger city where they're going to get more deliveries, they might have to go to this Walmart on this side of town, make the delivery, and then drive to the other side of town to go to their next delivery. And, if they decline that one, that doesn't look good. So, there's stuff like that. So when you're comparing the two, currently eBay is more passive. It's not passive.
It's a lot of work, but you can make it a little more passive.
Yeah, there's more, like once you get it listed, then it's not like you can just forget it. But, to make the next dollar on DoorDash, you got to make another delivery. So, and if we were to ever get, a product that was like repetitious, then it would be even more passive. So something that to talk about a little bit.
Something we keep talking about and thinking about. We haven't found the item yet.
Yeah.
Currently, we are really blessed with a couple of good thrift stores that meet our needs.
For what we're after
Yeah.
currently. So when you look at effort versus reward, eBay is somewhat steady now. If you'd asked me this last week, I would say no, it's not, because we've had about 2 bad weeks. But it's starting to get a little more. So I don't know how variable DoorDash is, but I just, for people where we live, it'd be very variable. And we don't-
Probably very active, like on weekends, but not. I don't know.
I don't know.
We're not big takeout people, so I don't know. Do
Well,
people
we don't even go to restaurants
get
anymore,
more
so
takeout on weekdays or weekends?
I think some people, I've heard people, even locally, I heard that some coffee shop was delivering coffee to teachers at the school. So,
Okay.
who knows? Risk, comparatively speaking, eBay is a little lower. We do run into this stuff back here, which is,
Yeah.
is a loss. But
It is.
In the grand scheme of things, even if a product went missing, because we've got one, I didn't even talk about this thing, but we've got
Oh, yeah.
an item that is going in circles with
Somewhere in Colorado.
in Colorado, and the guy's about to have a come apart. I'm like, I don't work for the post office, so I don't know, but it just keeps doing it's here, and then it's here, and then it's here, and it's here, and it's here, and it's here. So even if that one just says we end up as like missing, because we used the,
Ground advantage.
yeah, we do have a little bit of insurance,
We do.
which would cover what we have. So the problem with DoorDash is you might get in an accident. Hey, if you're older, you might run into somebody's mailbox or their car.
If you're older, or if you're
just,
just not a good driver.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen somebody forgot to put the emergency brake on, and their vehicle ran into somebody's house before.
No.
So you get in a hurry and jump out, and it just keeps going. So physical demands, I would not say that eBay is like low, but it's lower than DoorDash, because I'm not having to get in and get out, get in and get out, get in and get out. and I might have to go upstairs for someone's apartment complex, or who knows
Oh my goodness.
what.
Part-time picker says, it's crazy what people DoorDash nowadays. My coworker has ice cream from the gas station DoorDashed.
Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, I just saw this. Was it yesterday? And I believe it might have been Walmart that was doing it, but they had a drone. Somebody,
Oh, yeah.
they tested
It
to
was
see if
a
it actually
video.
worked. They wanted some kind of chips. They were having a
Oh, it was pistachios. Like
pistachios. That's what it
salt
was.
and pepper pistachios.
They were having a party, and so I think they were already at the party. Someone probably mentioned it, and so they ordered it, and a drone brought that stuff to their house and dropped it
In their backyard.
in their backyard. Had a little parachute, and it kind of floated down, which reminded me. Anybody ever take the little army man and make your own little parachute? Anyway,
Well, they came with parachutes, but
no, we always made ours.
out of a handkerchief.
Either a handkerchief.
Did you climb
or-
up on the roof and throw them off?
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
We did too.
So there's that, and then as far as a long-term fit, we could see. But going back to what we talked about, if we keep it where we're at the comfortable level, we could do this for a long time.
Reasonableness.
We could do this for a long time. And I was reminded because we were in a funeral last week that there was a lot of my relatives that are just struggling to get around, and I thought, I need to remember this because these are things that I wouldn't be able to do, and getting in and out of a car, and of course I remember I have a relative that was a police officer that used to hang out in where my grandmother, who shouldn't have been driving, he worked that area. He volunteered to do that area, and he had to remind her often she does not need to be on the road. So stuff to think of. So for us, it was just not a good option. I never got anywhere. I tried to get approval for the medical thing. I don't know. Either I
I
didn't
think
do
that-
something right, or
There just wasn't a demand in our area for it.
well, that was the other thing is everything I was pretty much going to have to drive 45 minutes and then work in that area and then drive back home. That was about the closest we could get. So that was the other thing that was kind of a negative. And I was trying to avoid that because I'd already done that for, a bunch of years.
I have a con for DoorDash.
Might be tempted to spend money in the store that you're
No.
DoorDashing.
If you're door dashing, you got to put on clothes. Go out in public.
Well, let's just be, we wear clothes,
We
but
do wear clothes, but we can hang out in our sweats all day long. If
yeah,
we
I'm
wanna
not
do that.
worried about, because I can wear my t-shirt and shorts, and I can comb my hair or not.
Well-
it takes a lot to get this like it is. So
It does. It takes 15 minutes about every 2 weeks
A
with
buzz
a
cut.
pair of clippers. But we take our postage. I mean, we take our packages to the post office so that we can see them scanned and we get the receipt. But a lot of resellers put their packages out and have the post office pick them up. So you can do eBay and never, other than your sourcing, but you can source online, have stuff shipped to you so that you really never go out.
you can.
But I do go out on a daily
I would
basis.
never do it that way.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't enjoy, I don't know. We might.
you would enjoy not having to go to the post office every day. But the joy of going to the post office every day is we sold something.
Yeah, we sold something, and it does mean I get out of the house. So I, you need some vitamin D. So you need to get outside every once in a while,
Every once in a while.
more than just Mondays
Yeah.
on sourcing day.
Well, I got about 50 years of vitamin D, so I'm covered.
I don't think so. I don't think it works like that, Tim.
Are you sure?
I don't think so,
Are you
Tim.
sure? Because I think I'm pretty sure. There was a day, it's hard for you to say on the camera, but, I have freckles. But there was a day where from here down, You had no idea I had freckles because
No.
I
Our
stayed.
kids had no idea that you had freckles.
Yeah. And in fact, the people at church thought I used to go to a tanning salon. And I just worked construction. One of the things that if you are already an eBay seller, then you may or may not be aware of the eBay Open that's going on right now. And,
And we snoozed.
well,
I snoozed.
somebody said they signed us up. And so,
I thought I did, but
but I snuck around and signed us up just before the live. So I'll get to go back and watch some
Okay.
old stuff. But just, word of warning. Basically, there's a bunch of announcements of things coming, and it sounds all, wonderful. And then,
but who knows when that is?
and then none of it's, active right now. And so some people get it, and they use the words like, "I hope you'll get to check this out, soon," and that kind of stuff. But there was a couple of things that I heard, and so I'm not going to go into great detail right now. I'll probably talk more about this next Thursday. But the bane of my existence is when I'm making offers. And it infuriates me that when you make an offer, your initial offer,
Where that goes?
you have no idea who you're offering to.
Oh yeah, because that's kind of anonymous
You start there.
or blind.
And we have the ability to send offers multiple times a day, and often I can do 3 or 5 at a time. So, but I have no idea who I'm offering to. And then later, I might get a counter offer, but I don't know. What are they countering? Because I can't, if it's been 2 or 3 hours, I don't remember and trust me, there ain't no way you're going to sit down and carry a pad with you everywhere you go and write down all the information you would have to do to track it on a piece of paper. So,
But that is the only way you could track it.
it's the only way you could, hopefully, sounds like it's changing. But last time they had, what was it called, summer check-in or whatever, they talked about they were going to have this new offer hub, which they did. And the only purpose, after I got so excited about that, the only purpose of that was to turn your listings on auto offers. And all you can basically do with this is either turn them on or turn them off.
Right. And we
Mistakenly had it
turned on
for a bunch
and
of them.
quickly turned it off because that is a complete nightmare. You have no idea of knowing what got sent out.
I mean, it's bad
who
enough
got
when
it.
I do it and I go, yeah, I remember offering something on those jeans this morning. But when it was doing it by itself, I had no idea what was going on. So, we turned all that off and stopped that. But now, it's kind of a guess when someone makes a counter. And I have to look and see, did they make a counter or are they just making an offer? They may be just making an offer. Maybe I never sent anything to them in the first place. And you got to remember all that.
You have to remember, pay attention to offer or counter offer.
Yeah. Or in some people's, they need to pay attention that I'm not sending them an offer to buy their thing. So the number of times people will accept my offer and then go, oh wait, I thought you were trying to buy mine. No. So it's, and trying to do it on their phone, it's kind of a nightmare. So often I'll go, and I have to get up and go into the desktop and open it up. And I can kind of sort of sometimes be able to tell maybe
Or get an idea of what you did.
what I did or what not. At least I don't look like a total idiot, And so what they're claiming is that soon, I don't know when, but what's supposed to be coming is all of this is going to be in messages. My word.
Why do we have messages and then notifications?
Yeah, and why in the world has it not been like this from day one? I mean, this has been my statement all along, so maybe they're just listening to me. But I was like, it should just be as simple as a text message. I send you a text. And
Just like when you message somebody on
you text me
Facebook.
back. How hard is that? So that's
But
kind
you
of.
can lose things on Facebook too if you're messaging someone.
I don't
on
want to talk
Marketplace.
about Facebook messages because I can't find nothing there. So don't message
No.
me on Facebook. I'll never find it.
No.
But what I think is that you're going to be able to make offers on there, that you're going to be accept offers, you're going to be, and everything will just be this stream back and forth. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. I'll believe it when I see it.
Right. Another thing that they mentioned today too, well, I say today, it was yesterday, but we were listening to a short replay, is that somehow there's going to be the ability to utilize AI to answer some questions based on your listings. How accurate that's going to be and how
Yeah.
well that's going to work out.
They quickly came with a disclaimer. No, it's not going to take over for you, and it's just going to be your
It's not
assistant.
your-
So I don't get too excited
Yeah.
about that one. We'll see how. It may just be one of those deals where somebody sends you a message, and AI may make a recommendation on how to answer it. Which sometimes, maybe if they would just say, how do I say this nicely? But
Great way to use AI.
yeah, but we'll see because they went with an instant disclaimer on it, and then also didn't say when it's going to roll out. But I do have some warm and fuzzy feelings about some stuff in the future. If they could just fix the offer part, that would be so huge for me. And
Our two biggest beeps, I think, are the offer system
the returns.
and how that you can't control that or track it. And then with returns,
them
like
not having to prove their
them,
part.
yeah. If buyers know that they don't have to prove anything, they can just make a blanket statement or check a box, and some AI is just going to automatically approve it. Then people are going to abuse that, just like they abuse Amazon, and the person who gets hurt is the small reseller
Yeah.
because
I don't know if y'all can hear our chickens. I think they're telling us
somebody laid an egg.
that it's time's up.
Yeah,
Sorry, plus one. But
yeah.
anyway, we'll talk more about some of the things. At some point, we wouldn't hate to go to a live eBay Open, just just to network, meet and greet some people. But right now, it's kind of like going to movies. It's not something we can really afford to do. So
Yeah.
if you can catch the replay, but if you can get someone else to watch the replay and then give you the summary, which is what we'll give you some of the highlights on.
What we may do is, okay, Groke, tell us
Yeah, watch this and tell me.
what was said.
Tell me what's really going to happen
Yeah.
and what's just stuff that they're hoping.
Yeah. By the way, I did do a little research on Groke in regards to the questions that I was sharing with you this morning about trends for the number of sellers and the number of buyers on eBay. And I have a lot of stuff to look over because Groke really helped me out. And my first glance at the information is interesting. So maybe that's what I will talk about next week.
Yeah, and just being honest, we're going to talk about AI because, and by
It's a
AI,
thing.
we don't know all there's a lot to it that we don't know anything about. But as far as, chatting or Groken or whatever else, for the research aspect of it, it's pretty huge. And I love learning. So, and I love talking to Groke about
little
things
bit of
that
a
nobody
research
else wants.
junkie.
Yeah, something.
I'm
cool.
glad Groke has replaced me. That's
she doesn't have to
that's,
listen to,
That's the big key. I don't get the assignment to research something and find all the information, and Groke doesn't have all the information, or ChatGPT or whatever. So I would say AI scares me and it excites me, both.
Yeah, but it's just a reality now.
It is,
So,
yeah.
there's a lot of people that are like.
So we just have to learn to harness it and be aware.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to run from it. I mean, it's kind of like cars. We're still not riding horse and buggy anymore.
That's true.
So,
And
unless
a
you're
lot of
Amish.
people are injured and worse in accidents. So
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but all that
AI, fear of change.
fear of change.
And our lives have changed. I mean, it's like Pandora's box. AI is out, and there's no putting it back in. So
Yeah, and it's
we've got to learn to live with
pretty
it.
crazy, some of the stuff that it can do right now. I mean,
And
obviously,
how fast.
there was a lot of stuff that you can go, oh, AI did that. Oh, AI did that. But now you're like, did AI do that? I don't know.
I think surely that's AI created.
I
don't
did see
know.
where, if Grok creates an image for you, down in the little corner, it'll say Grok.
Created by
So,
by
there,
AI.
yeah, means I didn't draw it.
Like that's not a given.
Are you saying I can't draw it?
No, I'm just saying for most of us.
Just saying. Okay.
If it was
Anyway.
my drawing,
Now we're rambling.
we are.
Y'all have a great week. Please, leave comments down below. We have a couple ideas on some other eBay versus different things, but this is a process we've been going through in order to lean up our lives. And there's some stuff that is more important than renovating houses. And so it's been a hard adjustment. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's been easy since that's been my identity for most of my life. But
What a challenge to find and be able to adapt to saying my identity is not in what I do, it's in whose I am.
that's right. So
Yeah.
y'all have a blessed weekend, and
We will catch you next Thursday
catch you next
at
time.
noon.
See ya. Thank you. Thank you very much.